Hi there, welcome back to Ukulele Summer. The song this week is Freight Train, originally written by Elizabeth Cotten, who interestingly enough was a nanny for the Seeger family. How lucky, on both sides, I'm sure. She shared this original song of hers with them, and they shared it with the world. So we're lucky to have it. As far as the chord progression goes for this, so you can learn how to play it with me here, we're going to start on our C chord, and we're going to move to a G7 chord. And then what we're going to do is, this kind of follows what I call the mirror pattern. We're going to just flip those two chords, play G7, and then back to C. This happens a lot in music where you kind of start one pattern and then you flip it over. It often happens when you've got two chords to align. So once again, we'll do 2 measures of C, 2 measures of G7, and then flip it, 2 measures of G7, and 2 measures of C. There we go. Now this is where we sort of deviate from that pattern. We throw in an E7 chord. Now to make an E7, for those of you unfamiliar, I've got my index finger on the 1st fret of G, my middle on the 2nd fret of C, and my ring finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. It takes a little getting used to. You might notice that I've kind of adjusted my fingers so that they're definitely at this 45-degree angle up at me here, and I've moved my index knuckle above the nut where I would usually have it. So feel free to move that hand around. Just make sure you're not doing any chicken wing. That's not going to help you. I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to help. Adjust your fingers any way that you need to get to those strings. That's your E7. And then we're going to swap it around to the F chord. And there's just no way around that. So you might want to spend a little bit of time going back and forth. E7 to F. That's going to be 2 measures of each. 1, 2. Sorry, then to the F. 1, 2. And then the last line is what I call a little G7 sandwich. So we start with C as the bread, G7 as the meat, and back to C again for the bread, and one more extra piece of bread, just for those of us who like bread. So all together, once again, 4 lines. The first is the first part of our mirror, C for 2, G7 for 2. And then flip it around, we'll play 2 of G7, and back to C for 2. That's the first half. Second half, we go E7 for 2, to F for 2, and here's the sandwich, 1 C, 1 bar of G7, and then 2 bars of C to close it out. Nice. If you're sticking to strumming, I recommend a thumb strum or a standard strum of a 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. But I would emphasize that backbeat just the way that the thumb strum does, emphasizing the 2nd and the 4th beat. We get a lot of that around the campfire. It just sounds good. Might also be a personal bias of mine. If you want to, I'm going to pick along as well. I'm going to use a double finger variation, so I'm going to play these outside strings, G and A together for starters on 1, and then I'm going to go to the inside strings, 2, and outside strings, 3, and inside 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, you'll see me do that in the play along, but let's just play through that chord progression one more time. I'll use a thumb strum and we'll keep it kind of slow so we get a feel for it, and then we'll play it all together. Here we go, starting on C, 2, ready, and 1, 2, switch, G7, yeah, then mirror, G7, and back to C. Here we go, E7 now, and switch to F. Here comes the sandwich, C, G7, back to C. Try it on your own. Here we go now. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So take some time with that, take a pause, and when you're ready, join me for the play along. Coming up next, here is Freight Train. Hi there, this is Freight Train. You can play along with me on a thumb strum or with a picking pattern, what I call the double finger variation. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. You'll see me doing the picking pattern here, but feel free to do what works for you. Here we go, starting on the C chord. 1, 2, starting on C. Here we go. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell them what train I'm on. They won't know what route I've gone. When I die, oh, bury me deep, way down on Old Chestnut Street, so I can hear old number 9 as she comes rolling by. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell them what train I'm on. They won't know what route I've gone. Last 2 lines. There you go. Have fun with that one. Enjoy singing it in your backyard. One more quick thing. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to consider becoming a member. It's a great way to say thank you, to keep this channel going, and to enjoy some extra perks and resources. You can learn more by clicking join next to the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for the support.